This is the ultimate time to graduate, I tell my students, because they're facing employers are facing a perfect storm. They're facing a perfect storm whereby they have to deal with globalization. So they're not only competing against the company that's down the street, but they're competing in a company that's around the world.
Business, driving economies and careers. Memorial University is big on business people.
The things that I've gotten from SIFE has been the experience, the network, and I've just learned so much from it. Think Green is a recycling program that we actually go into elementary schools and we teach grade 6 students and grade 5 students how to run their very own recycling program. So we teach them basic business skills. So we teach them things such as marketing, accounting, teamwork, communication, ethics, etc., etc. And then they use these towards getting more and more recyclables for their schools. And this year the program grew in Canada from 2 to 10 schools, and one of them is in Nova Scotia in Halifax. And then through our networking opportunities that we've gone to World Cups, so in Paris, New York, and in Singapore, and through meeting some of the people in other countries, the program has actually expanded to 3 different countries. Even though we got gold in Singapore, it's not necessarily about that. It's actually about the impact that we make in Newfoundland and Labrador and in our community through the projects that we run. Before I joined SIFE, I wanted to get my CA, which is the best financial backing you can have, and I wanted to work for a big corporate company, and I wanted to make as much money as possible and just run. But since joining SIFE and seeing the impact that you've made through these projects, seeing the smiles, knowing that you're inspiring people just as much as they are inspiring you, I want to open up my own not-for-profit community involvement business. So I want to see the smiles again. I want to be inspired, and I want to inspire, and that's the difference that SIFE has made in my life.
The opportunity that the work term students bring to employers like myself is to introduce someone who's young, who's keen, who's anxious to get there, and who's just got a different perspective. There was one, Lisa Dale, who was just really embraced. She was young, vibrant, energetic, and traditionally, in the particular environment that she was working, was a technical, generally older than 20 or 22 environment, people who had been working for 20, 25 years. And it is true that she did had an energy and brought a life to our organization, to that group particularly, that hadn't been there.
I finished up my PhD quite early because I worked really hard to get it done early. And then I was headhunted to go work for PricewaterhouseCoopers to be a business ethics consultant. Which people laughed at the time. I only expected to stay for about 2 years, but I stayed for 7.5 years because people wanted to talk about ethics in business, but they just don't want to use the word ethics. They want to use the word sustainability or corporate responsibility, or they want to talk about governance, or they want to talk about regulation and compliance. So I was going into the Eastern Bloc, did a lot of work in Poland, was in Lithuania helping companies up there deal with corruption and bribery and ethics up there. By the time I left, there was probably about 150 people working in that area. But it was just in not specifically mentioning the word ethics, which you normally see in a university.
Memorial University Faculty of Business Administration. The people with the ideas to innovate and the integrity to do it right.